Good afternoon, Knicks Nation. Good to see you on this Sunday afternoon. Sunday, the 27th day of March 2022. I hope you're all happy, healthy, safe today. I hope your families are also happy, healthy, and safe, and that the needs of you and your families are being met today. Blessings upon those that are working in the healthcare field and those that are the first responders, even on a day like today, trying to save lives, and those that pick up garbage for us and make deliveries for our convenience, for all of you getting pizza and food delivered. Tip those people. Chinese food, whatever you're getting today, blessings upon those people that do that work for you. Also, double blessings on the men and women trying to help deliver and rescue, even on a day like today, children, toddlers, teenagers, and adults who are the victims of perverts, profiteers. Oh my goodness. Perverts, profiteers, and perpetrators of sex slavery, human trafficking, child pornography, child molestation, prostitution. Curses upon those that practice these things. Finally, blessings on the homeless. We are all happy and healthy today. We have roofs over our head, foods in our cupboards. We got televisions. We're going to see our Knicks today, but there are those that are on the street who have nothing. Don't even know where their next meal is coming from, trying to protect themselves from others that may try to hurt them on the street. Blessings upon them and the millions like them around the world, for theirs is the kingdom. Now, I want to first, before we talk about the game Friday and preview the game today, there were two things that struck out at me as I saw this game in its entirety last night. And I want to, and also salute to the chat, MH Superstar, Brooklyn, New York, Thomas Strong, Wayne Peterson, Righteous is the Way. Shalom to you. Now, two things. And they're interesting things. And one of the things I want to bring up is the thing that should have happened that didn't happen that's important. First thing I wanted to find out is did you all notice on the bench for the New York Knicks, about 2 feet away from Tom Thibodeau, was Allen Houston and Worldwide West? Did you all notice that? That about 2 feet away from him on the bench was Allen Houston and Worldwide West. They weren't in the stands. They weren't in the booth. They were right next to him on the bench. Did you all notice that? And please, I want to ask you this first question. Have you ever seen that before this season? I don't recall seeing a game where those two guys were sitting on the bench. Have you seen that before? I haven't seen that before. And the last time, if you recall, that it was noticed that these guys were in town was in Los Angeles before the Knicks beat the Clippers, and they were huddled up, according to Mark Berman. It was Leon Rose with them too, right? So I was looking at that and I was like, okay, something's happened. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just saying, why would those two Knick executives not just be in the stands, not be in the booth, on the bench? On the bench. So I don't know what's going on, but, and then I'm just saying, all of a sudden Duke McBride plays the whole fourth quarter. I don't know what's going on, yo. All of a sudden now, Julius Randle, like the last I heard, he was questionable for today. He didn't look like he was too hurt. I mean, did y'all see that? He was doing wind sprints. He looked like he could have played Friday, but he was out. Did y'all notice that? I don't think I've ever seen, and I've been watching the NBA a long, long time, some of y'all. I only seen, and if y'all go back, like some of y'all go back during the Isaiah Thomas era, let's talk about that for a second, because that's the only other time that I've seen this. This is what happened. If you remember, Isaiah Thomas was hired by James Dolan to be president of basketball operations. Okay. One of his first moves was he brought Stephon Marbury to New York from Phoenix. Y'all remember this? And then he had, at the time, he had Don Chaney as the head coach, because Don Chaney had been running the defense after Tibbs, with Tibbs on the sideline, and he was a defensive expert. And he was getting a lot of questions from the media about not playing Mutombo, because at the time, it seems to me that he was the only one, even at the time I saw it, Mutombo was finished. He had no movement, and he was overmatched most of the time, right? And so Don Chaney wasn't playing him, and they were asking about that, and he was saying there's matchup problems, and they said, what do you mean matchup problems? He said matchup problems, and they didn't like it. Some of y'all might remember that. And that Isaiah Thomas was sitting not on the bench, but he was right there next to the bench. And then, if you remember, Stephen A. Smith was there at the game, and Stephen A. and you saw Isaiah looking at Don Chaney like it was theatrical. And then Stephen A. Smith said, Don Chaney's in trouble. And that next 24 hours, Don Chaney was fired. Remember that? And then we went through a series of coaches, and finally, what Isaiah wanted to do all along, which is what happened. He wanted to be president of basketball and a coach. And we see how that turned out. Well, that's the last time I saw an executive on the bench. I don't know what this means, y'all, but I can't think it's good for Tom Thibodeau. I mean, right? I mean, we heard that he's guaranteed, but see, we don't know. Remember I told you, we don't know nothing until we hear from Leon. That's when we know. We heard from newspaper people, right? But we don't know. So that's the first thing I noticed. Now, here's the second thing, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think, okay? Please tell me what you think about what I'm about to say here. Tom Thibodeau spoke a lot after the game, as we all know, okay? But there's one thing he never said, and that's the most important thing. I want to share this with you because I want to know what y'all think, because I heard Julius Randle said this during the course of the season. I've heard RJ Barrett say this during the course of the season. I've heard Evan Fournier say it during the course of the season. I've heard Todd Gibson say it, but I have not heard the most important person say it. I have not heard Tibbs say it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I want y'all to tell me if you've heard it before from Thibodeau this year. Have you ever heard Thibodeau say, this loss is on me? When the Knicks have lost 42 games, have you ever heard him say once, this loss was on me? I've heard Julius Randle say it. I've heard RJ Barrett say it. I've heard Taj Gibson say it. I've heard RJ Barrett say it. Have we ever heard Thibodeau say, this loss is on me? Have we ever heard that? Now, what does that tell you? After 42 losses, let's just make it a logical percentage situation. Like, in other words, is it possible that a team loses 42 out of 74 games, right? And none of those losses are the coach's fault? I mean, is that even theoretically possible? Is it possible that a team has a losing record and absolutely none of those losses are on the coach? Is that possible? So, if we conclude that that's impossible, that there cannot be a team that was the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference one year and loses 42 games the next year, we can conclude that not all 42 losses could be on the coach, but the coach could say at least once, this loss was on me. what does that lead me to conclude? It could be that Tom Thibodeau is not only stubborn, but he's too proud to possibly admit that he has made some major mistakes this year. That's what was bothering me about everything that went on in his post-game conference. I was looking for one of those. I was looking for him to say, you know, perhaps we could have made some adjustments earlier. I was looking for that. I wasn't saying, him to say this whole year was my fault. He didn't have to say that. But if he said, we could have played some of these kids a little earlier. Right? If he just said that, okay. But I think, it's hard for me to respect a person, not just a man, not just a coach, a person that never admits they made a mistake. You ever see a person like that? I mean, never admits that they've ever made a mistake? Ever? I mean, look, Friday's game. Let's talk about Friday's game. Okay, let's talk about Friday's game. No Julius Randle. No Derrick Rose, right? And you have Jericho Sims starting, right? You have your regular starting level. You had Jericho Sims, you had RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Alec Burks, right? Evan Fournier. And for about 3/4 of that game, the Knicks were getting beat by a superior team. Is that correct? I mean, did y'all see that? I mean, for about 3/4 of that game, the Knicks were getting beaten by a superior team. RJ, who I believe in a few years is going to be better than Jimmy Butler, but this game he was getting schooled. He was getting taken to school by Jimmy Butler. I mean, did y'all see that? Okay, I have no problem with that. RJ's 21. So they were getting schooled. Then he brings in Emmanuel quickly, Deuce McBride. And the spirit of the game changes. Did y'all notice that? The spirit of the game changes. The defense goes up another couple of notches. Okay? And I want to tell you, when it started, if you go back and look at the game, and this is the thing that Tom Thibodeau said along with the other BS he brought out after the game. Nobody goes back and looks at the game after. That's not true. Raw Hebrew looks at the game after. Sometimes I look at it twice. I pause stuff and I look at stuff and I say, oh, this is what happened. If you look at that game again, when the Knicks started changing the spirit of the game, Deuce McBride was the point guard. And my man IQ was the off guard, and IQ started rolling at that point. Then later on, he started feeling it, and he bringing it up and going off. But Deuce was the point when it started. We've seen this kid do all kind of work. West Virginia, Summer League, G League. Okay? We've seen him and IQ against Houston a couple months ago, 3 months ago, win the game. Even against a depleted Houston team, we'd have lost that game if Deuce and IQ didn't do what they did. And so we saw the Knicks go down 17, and all of a sudden, man. And the thing is, wait, where's all that Obi only could dunk crowd? Wait. Where's all that Obi can only dunk crowd at? Did y'all see homie fake on the three, right? He was on the left side of the court. Fake on the three, right? Cross, go, and then all of a sudden Miami had help coming on the baseline. Homie rose up on the mid-range. And not only it was sweet. Did you see that move? That was a solid, sweet move. Like, he could go do that again anytime. But he could only dunk, right? Did you see the hustle from Obi Toppin? On both ends of the floor. Did you see it? I mean, I'm talking to the Obi can only dunk crowd. Obi don't rebound crowd. Obi don't play no defense crowd. Man, come on now. And I think it was the beginning of the season. Some of y'all remember we did a video and I said it's going to come a point where they're going to have to decide to either play Obi, trade Randall, or trade Obi, because Obi is what? What did I say? He was too good to keep him at 8 to 15 minutes a game. Did I say that? Did I tell you that? I told you Obi Toppin is all-star talent. Did I tell you that? And there's some of y'all that's proud like Thibodeau and ain't going to come through and say, oh, yeah, you was right. And you know what? Let me tell you something, man. We could trade Randall. We could trade Randall. You could trade. Okay? You could trade. And I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down the rest of the season. I mean, look, what's the purpose of bringing him back? What would be the purpose? Look, the Knicks could roll off 8 straight and end up 40 and 42, right? I don't think that's good enough to make the play-in. Even if they did that, I'm saying I don't think that's good enough to make the play-in. Okay? And if they did reel off 8 straight and somehow made the play-in, you can't bring Julius Randle back. For what? You see what I'm saying? So one way or the other, I would sit Julius the rest of the season now. What are you going to bring him back for? Okay? And so, to me, I would say he's questionable the rest of the season. Let Obi run. Okay? Let Obi run. And even if the Knicks brass doesn't agree with what I just said, and I'm not the Knicks brass, so that's definitely possible. Even if they believe Julius Randle, along with RJ Barrett, is the face of the franchise, you got to play Obi to see who wants him, right? And I'm going to tell you something. Just being honest with you, I'm trying to be real with y'all as always. I'm raw, right? Look, there's going to be a whole lot of teams wanting Obi Toppin this summer. There's going to be a whole lot of teams wanting Obi Toppin this summer. I mean, he's on a rookie deal and he's balling out like that. Now, if they're smart, they let Julius go. I don't care what they got to do. Get rid of him. And listen to this. What y'all think about? You have Obi, right? And you have Obi being backed up by Cam Reddish. Talk to me now. Talk to me now. You have Obi, right? Mitch Robb, RJ, Grimes, and Deuce. And then you have IQ, Cam. Talk to me now. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. And you can't tell me if he had run that crew. Let's say, okay, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's say, we understand Kemba was kind of forced on Tibbs. Tibbs didn't go out and say to Leon Rose, I need you to go find Kemba Walker and bring him here. No, we know that wasn't the case, right? I mean, Kemba is not a Tibbs type of guy. I mean, we know that. So let's say, for the sake of argument, they came through training camp. And wait, you know what's being revealed also? What Tibbs did let out the bag? Some people were speculating that maybe Deuce wasn't playing good in practice. Did y'all hear that one too? Oh, maybe he's not showing enough in practice. Maybe, he's showing he's not ready. Did y'all hear that one? Well, listen to his comments. All year, he said, these kids been busting it in practice. All year, he said. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, okay? I ain't forget Sims. Chill out. I ain't forget Sims. I ain't forget it. Wait a minute now. I ain't forget it. Give your boy a little chance now. Don't be like a woman interrupting me. You know what I'm saying? That's a sister thing. Start jumping on you to talk before you finish your thought. Okay, look. Let's just assume for the sake of argument, they came through training camp, okay? And Deuce was crushing people like I believed he was from the beginning. But Tibbs, he had Kemba forced on him. He didn't want Kemba, much less starting Kemba, right? So he had Kemba forced on him. Okay. But we know that he benched Kemba. Remember that? And apparently it was a shockwave because we heard the media tripping. Some of Knicks Nation was tripping because some of y'all actually thought Kemba was some sort of savior. I love the idea of Kemba because, like I said, I was looking for 19 point per game Kemba. I was looking for Kemba from Charlotte with the crossover and the step back. I was looking for that. But instead, I got Kemba playing on one leg, and I could see that from the opening night. And I was like, oh, my goodness, this might be a problem. Okay. And I'm assuming kids probably saw the same thing even before the game, right? But they played a few games. I don't remember how many games it was. And they realized, nah, this dude's done. And Tibbs did the right thing. He said, no, he's out the rotation. Remember that? And I knew it was coming. I could see it on Tibbs' face. No, he's out the rotation. Now, imagine, even logically understanding Tibbs, imagine he'd have played his grandson at the point guard. Okay, fine. I have no problem with IQ at the point guard. I think Deuce McBride's a better point guard, but that's fine. That's a matter of opinion. Okay, I'm not going to argue about somebody's opinion. Dudes like to do that. But listen, fine. I believe the cream rises to the top. You just got to give everybody opportunity. So let's say he started his grandson at the point guard. No problem. Start your grandson at the point guard. Then you bring Deuce up into your grandson's spot on the second unit. We'd have won 10 more games right there. Right? We'd have won 10 more games. We'd have won 10 more games right there. Just that move. We'd have won 10 more games. Okay? I'm telling you. All right? But homie waited. And waited and waited, and then until he had no choice but to bring forth Deuce time. He had no choice. We knew his grandson was going to get time. Okay, we knew that was going to happen. Now, about Jericho Sims. Man. Look, man. Look here. I don't care what y'all say, man. Come on now. You can't tell me Leon and them ain't do a good job on the draft, baby. Come on now. Give the boy some love. The Don did some work on this draft, man. He got Jericho Sims at 58. Come on now. He traded the picks we had and got the players we needed, and he got them all cheaper. He got Quentin Grimes at the end of the first round, several slots below. Joko Bidas, we didn't know nothing about, but he picks Deuce McBride, who I thought was a late first, early second. He goes in the early second. I saw Jericho Sims at Texas. I saw that he could jump, but I didn't think he had enough skill set to get to the NBA. I saw that he got, springs on it. We get Jericho Sims at 58. This kid, what I love about him now, all y'all thinking he better than Mitch. I'm not tripping like that. Y'all need to get off of that. I have coffee in the morning, but some of y'all get too much caffeine. This is the thing, man. I'm not saying. And I'm not even saying Mitch should start. I'm not even saying that. Look, I don't mind we starting Jericho Sims and bringing Mitch with Mobb Deep. I have no problem. Mobb Deep becomes Mitch, Cam, and IQ. But look, to me, Sims and Mitch are interchangeable. You understand what I'm saying? They're interchangeable. So now you can start Mitch and bring Sims and Mobb Deep, or you can start Sims and bring Mitchell on Mobb Deep. You want to play both of them, though. You hear what I'm saying? You want to play both of them. You want to play both of them. Now I want Mitch to walk, Pudge. Come on now. Let's not get crazy now. No, don't get crazy. Mitch earned his money that he got coming. I don't know how much he gonna have. And look, I don't even know if it's worth talking about because I think Mitch has already got an idea what he wants to do, him and his reps. And I have a feeling, he's going to end up Detroit, New Orleans, or the biggest one is Dallas. Since he went and got an apartment in Dallas, he must like Dallas. And I can see him fitting with Luka Doncic. Oh, my gosh. That's going to be devastating. You give Luka Doncic a 5 like Mitch that runs the floor. But I want to say this. Let Mitch get a taste of these crew that he's with now in these last 8 games. I mean, we just won 2 straight, right? Let him run with this crew and let him see the possibilities, right? And so if that's the case, I don't know. He might change his mind, I don't know what the money situation is because Knicks, Mitch Rob is unrestricted. Now, I think the Knicks have his bird rights, if I'm not mistaken. The Knicks have his bird rights, but he's unrestricted, so he can go to wherever he wants. Okay, he can go wherever he wants and get paid. So it really depends. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Mitch Rob, and this is why I would disagree with my man Pudge Nice. I respect Pudge Nice. I respect you, brother. I'm not trying to down your opinion, okay? But I'm just saying like this. Mitch Rob and Deuce are my two favorite Knicks. You know, Frank is out. I love Frank. I hope he does well in Dallas. But Mitch Rob and Deuce are my dudes, okay? I'm not trading Mitch Rob for nobody. So if we could keep him. But the problem is this. The problem is this is where we disagree too, Pudge. I don't think Leon's going to match. Look, what have we seen from Leon? One thing we have seen, I mean, you want to be honest, he's cheap. Leon cheap now. Leon cheap. How much you want to bet they give RJ Barrett a 4-year deal somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million, but only 3 years are guaranteed? How much you want to bet? They do something like that, right? They say, all right, I'm going to give you 4 years, $90 million, but 3 years is guaranteed, and the 4th year is a team option. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see, y'all. So, yeah, there's that. So I don't think he would match. I think Dallas could get him. I think if Dallas wants him, they could get him. Okay. Now, so Friday was pretty easy to, right? Weren't we saying all along? Now, Deuce played, the bellwether is Deuce. He played 17 minutes, not the 20 that I wanted him to play. But what does 17 minutes tell you? If I say the Knicks would win if they played Deuce McBride 20 minutes or more and they played him 17, that tells me it's going to be a close game, but the Knicks could win. You see what I'm saying? They didn't quite get the minutes they should have got from the brother, but that tells me it's going to be a close game, but the Knicks should win because they didn't quite get the 20 minutes. And look, that's what happened. And the truth of it is IQ is set loose with the Deuce. Right? Did y'all see that? IQ is turned loose when he's in the backcourt with the Deuce. That's the truth about it. Okay, that's the truth about it. And you know what happened? Look, if you've been following the Knicks, let's say for 10 years, right? Been following Knicks for 10 years. You know very well, Kyle Lowry's a Knick killer. You know you got Knick killers all around the league, right? Kyle Lowry is a Knick killer. He's that guy that brings them back in the fourth quarter to beat us all the time, right? Kyle Lowry's that guy. He's a Knick killer. You got a few of them. Reggie Jackson's a Knick killer. Kyle Lowry's a Knick killer. You know, what's that cat on Utah? He used to play for the Lakers. When he was on the Lakers, he was a Knick killer. When he's on Cleveland, he was a Knick killer. Jordan Clarkson, he's another Knick killer. You know, you got a few of those around the league. Matter of fact, when he was in Utah, acquired his cat, Alec Burks was a Knick killer. And so was Reggie Bullock. These guys were Knick killers on other teams. So Kyle Lowry's one of them Knick killers. You know, like that dude on Orlando that comes off the bench and scores 30 on us every touch he gets. You know who I'm talking about. Them Knick killers, man. I forgot his name. You know who I'm talking about, though. So, but the problem, Terrence Ross, thank you, Roots. Terrence Ross, that's right. The problem, though, that Kyle Lowry had Friday, he drew the Deuce card. That's the problem he caught Friday night. He drew the Deuce card. And the Deuce card is the wild card. That means, brother, you having a bad fourth quarter today. You understand? He drew the Deuce card. All right? So you had the combination of IQ getting loose with the Deuce, and then you had Kyle Lowry drawing the Deuce card. You know what I'm saying? So, my brothers and sisters, if sisters in Knick Nation, I want to dish you out with the brothers. Y'all know. Y'all know. So, that was Friday night. And I wasn't shocked at all. at what IQ was doing when he was in the backcourt. I wasn't shocked at all that he was going off like that. Not at all. And let me tell you something else. You ain't seen the whole repertoire of Deuce yet. You ain't seen it yet. I'm trying to tell y'all. Wait till he's what made me feel good. And even Clyde noticed it. He said, Deuce is loosey-goosey tonight. Yeah. He's starting to feel relaxed because he know he's getting some minutes. I'm telling you, one of these games, he's going to bust out and get like 30. I'm going to tell you, it's going to happen. Especially if Randall ain't playing, you're going to see him do it. It's going to happen. And when he does that, it's lit right there. It's lit right there. So just like I told y'all, one of these games, Grimes is going to get 5 3-pointers, and he did. Grimes ain't finished yet either. Yo, we got something, y'all. We got something. I'm telling you. We see, when you draft well and you develop properly, you don't need to go looking for the big, like, you know what Berman always talking about? What do he say? You know, we need to trade all of these guys and get a big star. Thank you for the dollar, Guns. I might be able to get a coffee with that. Thank you, my brother. Anyway, you know, I'm having fun with y'all. You know what? When you draft well and you develop properly, you don't have to worry about trading everybody to get a big star and win now. You don't do that. Remember, y'all. Now, come on now, talk to me. Are we not in year 2 of our rebuild? Are we not? We're in year 2. Now, Tom don't know nothing about that. Apparently, he's the head coach, but he don't understand we're in year 2 of the rebuild. Right? You don't understand that. But that's where we are. And how do I know we are? Why do I say that? Look at our draft. Look at the young players we have, right? Mitch Robinson, RJ Barrett. You know, you start with them. They've been around the longest, right? You have Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride, Jericho Sims, right? Cam Reddish. Well, we traded for him, but we traded our number 1 pick, Kevin Knox. I think that was a steal, right? I think we could look back and say that was a steal. I mean, the honest truth, and I was one of those that was looking at, please give me one of the Miles boys in that draft. I wanted, give me either McCall. I wanted the guy from Charlotte first. I wanted Miles Bridges first. McCall Bridges was my second choice, but I wanted Miles Bridges. And now you can see why homie's a monster. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Appreciate your insight. Thank you, Mr. Williams. I appreciate that. But when they drafted Knox, my first thought was this kid should stay in school for another year. But I think we look back and we realize he probably should have stayed in school for 2 more seasons, at least 1 more, right? And you can see it's not that he didn't have talent, but if you want to see a poster child for ruining a guy's career, for coming out too soon and being handled by the wrong team, it's Kevin Knox. Okay, it's Kevin Knox. Okay, and so he should have stayed in school another year. He should have at least another year and then come out. Superstar Black Bolster, thank you for the super chat. But he came out too soon. Kid Funkadelic 77. It's a shame if we let Mitch walk. I agree with you. I hope they don't, because I'd love to see Jericho Sims and him be a tandem. It doesn't matter to me who starts in that scenario, because you're going to get both of those guys playing probably half the game each, right? And whichever one is doing serious damage, that's the guy that's going to stay in the game in the 4th quarter, right? So I have no problem with that. That's a 2-headed monster that we want, man. That's a 2-headed monster we want. Okay? So I have no problem with that. Now, the backup plan. See, some of y'all want to go ahead and do the backup plan before the first plan is played out. The backup plan would be Mo Bamba. So if Mitch ends up taking the loot in Dallas and going there, or Detroit, because they're going to offer him the bag, okay, I think we got the assets. I don't think it's going to cost a lot to get Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba is not up for no max deal, okay? We could get him on mid-level exception money. That's what I'm saying. We can get Mo Bamba on mid-level exception money if we need to. I'm not trying to let Mitch walk if I can avoid it, though. Okay, so I'm really pulling for Mitch to stay. I want Mitch here, but they gotta pay homie, right? And I don't think 4 years, 56 is a crazy number for Mitch Rob. I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all, man. No. He need to stay here, okay? But if you look back, just step back and look at that scenario. We can't lose either way. Right? Right? We can't lose either way. So if we keep Mitch, we got Mitch, and we still got Jericho for 3 more seasons on a rookie deal. Matter of fact, y'all know Jericho's on a G League contract. He's on a 2-year G League contract, $450,000 a year. Okay, so the Don is cheap. He might let that boy play his 2nd year on the G League deal before he signs him to probably a minimum contract, right? Don is cheap, man. So, but that's what we would have. And if Mitch walks, and bless him if he gets his money, I feel like this brother has earned his money. Go get your money, my man. But look, I have no problem bringing Mo Bamba in at mid-level exception money. Bring him in at mid-level exception money, right? We good either way. So I'm not worried about the 5 spot. I never was really. I'm just worried about how Tibbs plays the 5 spot. But I'm not worried about our 5 spot. We in good shape. Okay. Tibbs saw these. Thank you once and Nick. Always Nick. Tibbs saw these kids playing hard in practice all season. Yes, right. And he didn't play them because he's too proud to admit he made a mistake. And he showed us that Friday. Did he not? Listen, that's why I'm asking y'all. Can I get a witness? Did he not show you Friday? He's too proud to admit he made a mistake? That's not cool at all, man. That's not cool at all, man. Kyle Williams, thank you for the super chat. Hands down the best Nick. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Hamish, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Where Hamish is the best mind and voice in Nick's. Now, I appreciate that. No, there's some other good ones, but yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all, man. Now, look, but wait, though. He said that, right Friday, we saw this cat's too proud to admit he made a mistake. Okay? And you know what? I'm glad. That's what I was saying. When you saw World Wide West and Allen Houston, not only that, did y'all also notice not only was they on the bench now, they weren't getting up or down. They were pretty stoic, I would think. Right? They were like that. Did you see it, Allen Houston? Did you check that? Look, man. Jay asked, who would you trade Randall for? I'm not trading Randall. See, I don't agree with what my man, and I respect Ian Begley. He's one of my 3 wise men when it comes to NBA news. Begley, Shams, and we know Wojnarowski. But Ian Begley seemed to think that if they traded Julius Randle, they'll be looking for some equal value of a player. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for space. We got the talent. See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. We got the talent. Look, if we're in year 2 of a rebuild, right? Listen to me now. If we're in year 2 of a rebuild, it would be unreasonable for us to expect the Knicks to be world champions this year or next year. Does that make sense? It would be unreasonable for you to expect the Knicks to be world champions this year or next year if we're in year 2 of a rebuild, right? So what does that mean? That means next year you're pushing in the playoffs. You know, you probably get wiped out in the 2nd round. That's progress. We don't need a superstar for that. We got the kids that can do that for us. Okay? Last night, just to show you an example, Minnesota put the smack down on Dallas. They spanked Dallas last night. And Dallas is trying to vie for position, and Minnesota's trying to vie for position. And Dallas got spanked. Now, Dallas is missing Hardaway Jr., but Malik Beasley ain't doing nothing for Minnesota either. He only got like 2 points last night. But they had 7 players in double figures. That's what happened when you draft well and you build with young players and you develop them properly. See, we got that. We got it. We got that right now. Telling you. So somebody asked the question. Let's get back to the question. What would I want for Julius Randle? I want cap space and I want young assets. I want cap space and I want draft picks and young assets. That's what I want. Give me some expiring deals. Give me some. And now I'm trying to listen to me now. Tell me what y'all think about this plan. I would trade Julius Randle for draft capital, young assets. Then I'd bundle all that up and try to move up in this draft and get me a Jaden Ivey, a Paolo Banchero. You see what I'm saying? Or, somebody in that ilk. I'm moving up in this draft to get one of them cats. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm putting that new dude in Mobb Deep right away. I'm putting him in Mobb Deep for his rookie year. You're hearing that? That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm saying. I don't need a superstar for Julius Randle. I don't need that. Okay, I don't need that. We got what we need. We've been had it. We had it. Okay, again, let's go down the list. We got Mitchell Robinson. We got Jericho Sims at the 5. We got Obi Toppin at the 4. We got Cam behind him. We got Grimes, and we got RJ. Right now, I'm gonna give Evan Fournier some props. I was totally out on Evan Fournier from the beginning. I didn't like him. I mean, I liked him a little bit, but not that much. And then the defense, oh my God, it's horrible. But I cannot deny Cat can shoot the lights out when he's on a team that plays team ball. He's not killing us when he plays team ball. And he could actually win a game for us because he loves team ball. That's the French thing. But you know what else? I'm a little low on European players in general. I got to agree with Tibbs. They're a little soft. Okay, as a general rule, they just a little soft to me. Just saying. I don't know if it's the style or whatever. It's a little soft. But yeah, I would love Evan Fournier coming off the bench there going. I mean, I ain't fronting. Them Don, you right. I would love. Give me Evan Fournier, we coming off the bench, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Give him a Mobb Deep, right? Because I got to start Quentin Grimes. I got to start Quentin Grimes. Everybody forget nobody was a star in Golden State. That's exactly right. That's exactly. Della Music, please bring that noise, that history, so people could understand. Nobody was big. I remember Thompson was at Washington State. I think he was at Washington State, and he was pretty good now. But nobody knew he was going to be one of the greatest shooters ever. You know, before he came to Mark Jackson and Golden State. I mean, we kind of all knew Stephen Curry was going to be the deal because, like, the Knicks was trying to get him. I remember, and he was, that boy could shoot, but he had ankle problems. He was hurt a lot. He had ankle problems. Remember that? It was almost to the point where they was giving up on him. He had so much ankle problems. He had to wear. That's why I'm saying y'all tripping on Mitch Rob. Don't do that, man. You don't understand. Look longer term than that. I mean, Vincent Monarca, thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate that, my brother. But we got the talent. We got the talent. Okay, it's not about that. We got all right. Every why it always makes me like it's like hearing like somebody took nails and put it down the chalkboard when somebody say the Knicks don't have the roster. I'm like, what? Mitch Rob, RJ Barrett, Deuce McBride, IQ, Sims, Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes. We got the crew. We got what we need. You add a guy like a Jaden Ivey, or you add Apollo Banchero to that. Well, I like this kid, AJ Griffin on Duke, too. I didn't get a chance to review him yet for y'all, but I'm going to do that. I like AJ. And Obi, let me not. See, this is the thing, Black Volta. I'm old, right? So I forget. Well, we got so much time, I'm always missing somebody. And we got Obi daggone it. That's right. So, man, we got the crew already. We just need to keep these guys playing. And I'm going to tell you something, man. The thing about Thibodeau that's frustrating to me is if he was with this program, he's the guy. He's the guy to push these kids, to get the maximum out of each one of them. You see none of them giving up. That's him. You know, they're not giving up. They didn't throw in the towel. They're ready to play, right? That's on Tibbs too. So you got to give him some props with that. But he's so proud that he can't admit he made a mistake, that just to cut off his nose to spite his face, he will continue to start Alec Burks. If Lil Dang was available, he'd ask to trade somebody to get Lil Dang. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay? That's the problem. That's what problem. Because I would like, if he was just with the program, man, running the youth, run him into the ground. I don't care if you play Obi Toppin 40 minutes, play him. You know what I'm saying? But that's the problem. Because he'd be the perfect guy. I mean, he's not a development coach, but if he just put all of that intensity and energy into the youth, where we got they're on press conference. This dumb fool spent half the press conference talking about Taj Gibson's upside. Come on. You hear what? Taj, you know, he does whatever he asks him to do, and he's just getting better. Dude is 110 years old. Come on, man. That's the problem, man. Shoot. Dad. Daggone, man. I love Taj Gibson. Don't get me wrong, but come on. What about IQ? Did you see what he did? Did you see how Grimes responded after shaking off that rust in the fourth? He didn't mention none of that. And what about Obi? What about that mid-range? My gosh, man. My gosh. I mean, he act like Taj Gibson got upside. What? Come on, man. So, I mean, that's the problem. It's Tibbs' mindset. And I'm saying is that if he was with the program, if he just was with the program, he could push this young team. He could push them into the second round, man. He could do it. He could do it. Okay. But so I don't know when Allen Houston and Worldwide West, and we already know it has already been reported by Ian Begley. Worldwide West is not a fan of Tom Thibodeau. He is not a fan. Okay. They known each other a long time, and Tom claims we talk with him every day. Well, I guess he want to talk some more because he's sitting on your bench in Miami. He wasn't even in the booth. He was on your bench, brother. So, yeah, there's that. As my grandson would say, there's that. So now the Knicks have won 2 straight. And look, we have beaten in this last couple of weeks. It was the toughest 2 weeks of the season, right? For the Knicks. Y'all know schedule-wise, this was the toughest 2 weeks, right? The Knicks, when they playing Deuce and IQ together now, and Obi starting, the Knicks are playing on another level. Another level, man. And you know what I saw from Jimmy Butler that I've been wanting to see from RJ, but I know he's going to get this, but he doesn't have it yet. You know how Jimmy Butler cannot shoot a 3. RJ right now is a better 3-point shooter than Jimmy Butler. But what Jimmy Butler does is when he gets into the paint, he is very efficient at that short jump shot. You know what I'm talking about? He was taking RJ to school all night on that short jump shot, man. He getting in there and then he does his footwork is, Jimmy Butler's got phenomenal footwork. That's why one of the reasons he's Jimmy Butler, right? He comes in shape. He plays both ends. And man, he was taking RJ to school. But that little foul line to the dotted line jump shot, he hits that. I'd say he's at least 80% from that spot. Okay. RJ gets there. He gets there, but he misses that sometimes. I mean, if he starts hitting that more, you're going to see him average like 25 a game. Because he gets to the line, so we know we got to improve his foul shooting, but he gets in there in that spot at will almost. He just misses a lot of those little floaters right there. That's his next evolution. When you start seeing that, it's over. It's a wrap. James Cassell, thank you for the little super chat, man. Appreciate that. A little something to say. Thank you so much for everything you do. Appreciate that, James. Appreciate that. It's love, man. That's all it is love. It's love. Appreciate that. So, man, yeah. And that's what Vincent Monarca had bring on a good point. He said they may talk, but coach isn't listening. I have the same problem with employees. But this is the thing. From what Berman, who is his boy, I didn't realize when the season began that Berman and Tibbs were that close. I mean, they've known each other since, because Berman been writing for the Post since the 90s, and Tibbs was on the bench for the Knicks in the 90s. But I didn't know they was that close. And Berman said that he never listens to his assistant coaches. And not only that Leon Rose hired Johnny Bryant, KP, Kenny Payne, and Woodson without consulting Tibbs, that he's brought those guys on. And Tibbs don't listen to nobody. Oh, man. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about that guarantee for coming back next year. I don't know about that. Del Music 50, thanks for that super chat, brother. Nobody talking about Sims and Mitch working on shorts. Watch them at the shoot around. I also predict their foul shooting. Yes, both of them are going to develop mid-range games. Some people don't understand. Mitch was first, when you're a 5 in the NBA, okay, your first probably 2 seasons, you're trying to learn not to get in foul trouble. I'm talking about you're an athletic 5 coming into the NBA and playing starters minutes. Your first 2 seasons, you're going to be in foul trouble. It happens to all of them. I don't know one 5 that's a starting NBA 5. That's the athletic type like your Wisemans, your Bombers, your your big jumping dudes like that their first 2 seasons they weren't in foul trouble all the time. It happens all the time. First of all, the ref's not going to give you respect your rookie year, and then your second year you're still learning, right? So it takes them 2 seasons for that. Then your third season, you now understand how to avoid foul trouble. That was Mitch last year, and he was not fouling out last year, if you remember, and he was playing really good, but then he broke his foot. Right, he broke his hand first on Randall's elbow, then dirty behind Robin Lopez. No, not Robin Lopez, his brother, the other Lopez, dirty behind dude and dirty dude up there in Milwaukee. Well, anyway, he caused Mitch to flip, and Mitch broke his foot. So now his 4th season, his 4th summer, he could not do anything. He couldn't work out. He couldn't do nothing. Okay, so then he comes back in the fall, cleared to play, but out of shape, 280-something pounds, right? Y'all know that. So now it took him at least a half of the season to get in shape. So now this year, this summer, is the summer he starts working on post moves. This is the summer he starts jump hooks, and we'll see how far he can go with that jump shot. So that's what I'm saying. Now you'll see Mitch start working on his offensive game. And Jericho the same. Now, the thing with Jericho is he wasn't playing starters minutes most of the year, right? So he still may have, but then Jericho coming to the league at age 23. Mitch Rob came in the league at he just turned 20, I think, or 19 when he came in the league. That's 2 different worlds right there. So now Jericho is 23, going to be 24. So now, he's a little bit more mature. Mitch, even though he's young, as far as rookie year, so anyway. Yeah. And I'm not expecting Mitch to get a sky hook, just a jump hook, not a sky hook. Sky hook is not something everybody does these days. In fact, I don't know nobody that consistently uses the sky hook like, Kareem did, but a jump hook, when he could just jump it. And if he could do it with both hands, and I think Mitch could do it with both hands. If he could do that, plus get a little mid-range, like something foul line extended. If he can get that, it's a wrap. For real, it's a wrap. What he does offensively on the offensive glass, it's a wrap. And I'm with some of y'all with this here. Mitch has played through a lot of nicks and pains this year, and I'm wondering if he did it because it's a contract year. Like, I'm wondering if he had got paid, would he have played through all of them ankle injuries and all of them hip problems and all of them little nicks he's been getting, or would he sit? That's my problem. Now, even if that was the case, that's why I don't really have a problem having him come off the bench. I don't have a problem with Mitch and Mobb Deep. And quiet is kept. I think Mitch prefers Mobb Deep. I really think he does. But he can't get that same money, Like, I don't think Montrezl Harrell is probably one of the best 5s coming off the bench. And I don't think he ever got $50 million. Did he ever sign? I don't think he got 50. Right. So they just gave Nerlens 30, though, right? Though it's not fully guaranteed. They gave him 30. So I think Mitch should, if he's going to come off the bench, man, because I have no problem with Sims starting. And I'm not saying, I'm not going to go crazy like y'all and say Mitch is not as good as Sims or Sims is way better than Mitch. No. It's just what's going to help us win. See, listen, Knick Nation, that's what I'm saying. Take off the NBA 2K hat for a second. What's realistically going to help us win? And I don't care what it is. I want Deuce McBride on the team. I wanted Grimes because I could see they could help us win. They could help us go to another level. I don't want Burks at the point guard because he's not a point guard and he can't help us go forward. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about. So we could get both of them cats. And if it means starting Sims and having Mitch on Mobb Deep, I have no problem. Is he going to help us win? Can both of them play 82 games that way? That's what I'm saying. See, and if the combination of them could go through 82 games, we good. I don't care what, you know what I mean? They can help us win, So that's all I'm thinking about. Who helps us win? Both of those cats can help us win. Now, the thing about Mo Bamba is we don't know if he's injury prone or not. He's got the body of an injury prone type dude, but we don't know because he's never played enough minutes for us to know. Will he get hurt? That's the only problem I have. And that's why I have no problem getting him on a mid-level exception. I don't want to pay him a lot of money. Okay, let's get him a mid-level exception. Okay, but to me, I could start Mitch Rob. I could start Sims. I'm not really killing. I'd rather start Mitch Rob now. But if they started Sims, I have no problem. Okay, I have no problem. I have no problem. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we'll find out. But to me, the major moves got to happen this summer. Burks got to go. Randall's got to go. Both of them got to go. Tibbs, I saw Allen Houston and Worldwide West on the bench. I don't know what's going to happen. And I think we'll be in good shape if they decided to move on from Tibbs and go with Johnny Bryant. I don't think we're going to have a problem. Because then you're going to get the whole coaching staff involved. Oh, Noel's, yeah, never. Noel's got to go. I agree. Noel's got to go. The possible is Evan Fournier. Okay, if we're playing spades, I got Noel going, Randall going, Burks going, and a possible. I got 3 in the possible. And the possible is Fournier. That's the possible. That's the possible. Yeah, we were talking about that, David Martinez. And I want to bring this up one more time for all of y'all that just came in, the new guys. Okay, listen. If y'all heard, some of y'all was here already, so y'all know the answer already. But if y'all heard the pros conference, it wasn't what he said. It's what he should have said that he didn't say that was important at the post conference. Right, y'all? Some of y'all was here, right? It wasn't what he said. It's what he should have said that he never said. That I've heard Randall say, even Randall, I've heard Randall say it. I've heard RJ Barrett say it. I've heard Evan Fournier say it. I've heard Taj Gibson say it. I've heard all of them say it, except Tibbs. I've never heard this come out of his mouth. And this is it right here. Martina, this is it. This loss was on me. Have you ever heard Tibbs say, this loss was on me? Has he ever said that? Has he ever said that? Has that come out of his mouth once? And I said, logically speaking, just logic, a team was 41-31 one year. They lose 42 games the next year. They lose 42 games. And logically speaking, can you honestly say that the coach had nothing to do with any of those losses? I mean, just take Tom Thibodeau's name out of it. Let's just say NBA coach loses 42 games, pretty much guarantees a losing season, right? Can that said coach ever say none of those losses were on me? None of them? So if that's the case, if he is too proud to admit that he's made mistakes this season, he will continue to do things for his pride, even if it means hurting the Knicks. That's not good. And also, again, I wanted y'all to notice, because that's the first thing I saw. I said, wait. I'm looking at the bench, and I'm seeing Allen Houston and Worldwide West sitting on the bench. Those type of cats don't sit on the bench, man. They sit in a booth. They sit in the middle of the seat, in the seats, maybe 3-4 rows up. But they don't sit on the bench. I was like, what them two dudes doing on the bench? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so, and I'm a Tibbs supporter. I've been supporting Tibbs from the beginning. I've been supporting him. He was my second choice. Now, I wanted Atkinson, but when they took Tibbs, I wasn't crying about it. So, okay, we got Tibbs. And I knew, I'm like y'all. All right, I'd rather see Mark Jackson coaching in New York. But I'm a realist. I try to be. And there's no way nobody's hiring Mark Jackson. He spoke against the rainbow. Come on, y'all. He preached against the rainbow. He's not going to be no coach. The NBA's all in the rainbow. Come on. Y'all know that. I'm saying. Just saying. They acting like, for example, the WNBA is not getting the same love as the NBA. Is that anybody's fault? I mean, the market is what it is, right? I like watching women in certain sports. I'm not really that big into women's basketball. I'm going to be honest with you. And so what drives a market? It's the people that want to see, right? So if they was if their product was something that everybody wanted to see, they'd make more money. I'm just being real. Like I love watching women's track and field. I like watching women's figure skating. I like watching figure skating. I like watching women's gymnastics. I can watch all that all day, right? But I'm just not into the women's basketball as much. I mean, I'm not saying they don't got people that could play. I mean, this Paige Bucher, she could play. I like it. She got talent, but I'm just not. I wouldn't pay to watch her. You know, I watch them at the park, but I wouldn't pay to watch them. That's what I'm saying. But you know, so the NBA though, they pushing it. They pushing it like as if it's some sort of discrimination, and so they being politically correct. And so when Mark spoke against, he had a church out there in California. I don't know if he still got it, but he spoke against the rainbow. And that's when everything went south for him. You know, that's what happened. And that's why he's blackballed from the NBA. The NBA, and as we know, you look at Colin Kaepernick, he's been blackballed by the NFL. I don't care what anybody says, he's been blackballed, period. We saw Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. If you remember him, Mahmoud is on a level of Stephen Curry type shooter. He was blackballed by the NBA. We know that this happens. The first guy that got blackballed, now some of you old timers will remember, Connie Hawkins. Remember Connie Hawkins? And he didn't do nothing wrong. He was involved with some scandal that he had nothing to do with. They put his name in there and he was blackballed. He didn't even get into the league till he was 28. Okay? Certain players get blackballed. Now, some for good reason, like Mitchell Wiggins, you know, Andrew Wiggins' father, he could play, but he was a crackhead, cokehead, and that's why he got out the league. He was a cokehead, okay, and that's why he got banished. That was justified. I can understand that. You know, y'all don't know that. Andrew Wiggins' father used to be a player, man. He could play, but he was a crackhead, you know, so he messed himself up. Okay, messed himself up. So some people do, but there have been players that have been unfairly blackballed for stupidness, right? And so Mark Jackson is blackballed. See, y'all, let me not get into preaching today because I'm talking about the Knicks, but y'all know they're here for entertainment, and there's powers that will stop you from entertaining if they want to. Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, so as much as I would love to see Mark Jackson in New York coaching, and I believe he would bring us back to prominence, Oscar Robinson was blackballed, but it was after his prime. It was after his prime. He was at the end of his career that he was blackballed. Okay, yeah, exactly. Not only did he dress up like a woman, but he was into biting. Homeboy was into biting. He was into biting, man. Yeah. Homeboy was rough, man. But you know, he's all good though. People forgot Marv dressed up like a woman. I remember. Thank you for the super chat. Exactly. I remember that. But I'm looking for and Dolan. You can speak evil about Dolan all you want to. He is the first owner in major sports history to hire a black president of basketball operations, a black general manager, and a black head coach all at the same time. You name me somebody else that has done that. Nobody in baseball or football has ever done that. Okay? Say what you want about him, but I will never forget that he did that. I will never forget that he did that. That's just me. I will never forget that he did that. And he stuck by Isaiah Thomas through the whole thing with the woman he was, that woman he was, having his way with. Or he wanted to anyway. He stuck by him. Okay, so I'm gonna ride with Dolan because of that. That's what I'm saying. I'm always gonna give him because he did that. Nobody noticed that he did that, but he did that. Okay, and so I believe I'm looking for him to have the gonads to hire a Mark Jackson. It's gonna take something. Somebody's gonna have the NBA is gonna have to have an owner like a Dolan. To me, he's a guy that would do it. And he would do it with a guy like Wes saying, yo, Jim, you got to do this, man. You got to bring back Mark Jackson to the guard. If you had that happen, you might see Mark Jackson. You might see him. But it's going to be hard. Mark Jackson's been blackballed, man. And then what will happen is you get all of these media types bringing up the rainbow. Also, are you against so-and-so? Are you against so-and-so people? Blah, 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 blah. That's what would happen, And so we'll see. We'll see, man. But, yeah, you see what I'm saying? But and that's what I'm saying. Spree was cursing. Y'all remember when he didn't sign? Spree didn't take the money. He was offering Spree, I think it was 4 years, $36 million. If Spree was insulted. And Spree went to Minnesota and was coming back, and Dolan was sitting in the front row, and Spree every time down the court was cursing him out, like disrespecting his mama and everything. Look, signed homie back. Signed him back. Dude was broke, gambled away all his money. Spree was a gambleraholic. That's why he lost all his money. And he brought him back. Okay? Dead broke brought him back. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I don't give a whole bunch of owners props. I really don't, because they just owning us like slaves. But you know what, though? I got to give this man props, because nobody in history did that. Black head coach, black president of basketball operations, black general manager. Are you kidding? Black assistant head coach? No, man. Nobody did that. Nobody did that. No, well, see, Mark Jackson refuses to apologize, and I agree with him. Why would he apologize? He ain't do nothing wrong. He ain't do nothing wrong. So it's a stalemate. He's not going to come back and beg. No, and I don't agree. I'm with Mark on that. I'm with Mark Jackson on that. Totally with that. I like Mark Jackson. He got character, man. The boy is so classy. You see how he handles Jeff Van Gundy? He's so classy. He's a classy dude, man. The Knicks would be well to get him, but I just, like I said, I'm being real. I don't think he would ever get hired by the NBA, because he's not going to apologize for what? He ain't do nothing wrong. It's supposed to be the land of the free. You're supposed to be able to say what you want to say, believe what you want to believe. So he spoke against the rainbow. See, but that's an NBA thing. I bet you China won't have a problem with that. Shoot. Anyway. Yeah, so I just wanted to stop in today. Now, tonight's game, just real quick before we break out, Pistons been playing good ball, y'all. I mean, they still young. What's going to hurt them today is the absence of Jeremy Grant. It would not normally hurt the Pistons against the regular Knicks starting five. And the reason it wouldn't is because you and I both know some cat will come off the bench. Killian Hayes might drop 8 threes on us. That's the way it normally happens. But not with IQ on the loose with Deuce. Somebody going to draw the Deuce card. Might be Caden. Might be Corey Joseph. Somebody getting ready to draw the Deuce card. And you and I know when they draw the Deuce card, that's the end of that. I agree with you. Thank you, Billy Blanco. Billy Blanco, it reminds me of that movie. What's that movie, man? Was it Carlitos Way? What is that movie? It's Benny Blanco from the Bronx. Remember that? The Knicks can head in the right direction with the dismissal of Tibbs, Randall, Burks, Taj, and Noel. Higher developmental coach is the cherry on top. I ain't gonna front. I can't defend any of those guys. Can't defend Tibbs. I can't. And I'm a Tibbs supporter, but real is real. Homie came out of his face last Friday and was stupid. I mean, he came out stupid. What? No. Can't work like that. So you right. I can't. Billy Blanco. Are you from the Bronx? Billy Blanco? That's right. Somebody gonna draw the Deuce card today. And if they got any sense, if my man Worldwide West and Allen Houston on the bench in Detroit, then you're gonna see the Deuce card come out with IQ gonna be on the loose with the Deuce. And man, we got some thing going on. Okay, so because of that, I'm not worried about Detroit today. I think we should handle Detroit pretty good today. If they don't play Deuce 20 minutes, if Tibbs gets stupid, which is possible. Did y'all hear anything? Is Randall playing? I hope he's not playing today. He was questionable when I last checked. Did y'all hear anything about Randall? I'm trying to see if he's going to be on the. What's the deal today? Let's see here. I don't see anything about it. I haven't seen an update since Macri reported that he is questionable today. He's questionable. So that means he's out. Okay, good. So if that means Obi Toppin starts, and if this guy got any sense, he plays Deuce at least at 17. He played against Miami. He should play 20. Then we should beat Detroit pretty handily. I'm expecting a nice win against Detroit today. They're not going to let some nobody go off on us like we've been doing all season. That's not going to happen. I'm expecting a bounce back game from young Mr. Barrett. If you notice, one more thing now, the last 2 or 3 games, RJ's been getting like 35 minutes a game, a little 5 minutes less than the 41, 42 he had been playing. That makes a difference in the fourth quarter for a guy, So I'm expecting a bounce back game from young Mr. Barrett today. So I think we're good. Grimes out. Grimes is out. Oh, shoot. I don't like that. Okay. Grimes is out. Daggone. Grimes is part of my prediction, though. Grimes is part of my prediction. Daggone. All right. So if Grimes is out, so we got Evan Fournier. What we got then? Well, I'm not as worried because all that means is more IQ at the 2. And maybe more Burks at the 2. I'm not worried about that too much. I'm not worried about that too much. I still think we should win pretty handily against Detroit today. That's what I'm thinking. We should win pretty handily against Detroit. I'm not concerned with them as much. Let me ask you, I think we got both. We got Sims and Mitch Rob today, right? Because they're going Isaiah is a monster too if he want to be. But Isaiah Stewart, LeBron ain't want nothing to do with him. Maybe 5 years ago, LeBron wouldn't mind tangling with that boy, but not right now. LeBron like ready for the wheelchair, and they're going Geritol crew. They want nothing to do with that crazy boy when he got all robbed because they bowled him in the face like that. But Isaiah Stewart's another good one. And Sadiq Bey, they got some good players. I like Detroit. I like Grant Casey. I like Detroit. They're gonna pick up another piece this year. They're gonna be back. We might as well get wins against them while we can, because in a couple of seasons they're gonna be a problem. Okay, they're gonna be a problem. But right now, let's get wins against them while we can. Okay. So I think we should win pretty handily against Detroit today. I'm expecting that. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Tyree. I can't. You're not going to disagree with you. You're not going to get an argument from me. Whatever you got to say against Tibbs, I can't say nothing. I can't defend the man, and I like him, but I can't defend him. I can't. So anyway, listen. I want to thank y'all for the support. I did not think this was going to become anything like this. I really did not. I was just trying to express my love for the Knicks, and I was getting frustrated with some content creators and some news media people that was, coming up with some stupidness. And so I said, man, I can bring something out here for real, from the Knicks fan, from the baseline, right? And so I wasn't expecting this, but I want to thank y'all for all the support, your comments, everything. It's really, really been a blessing. And all of y'all in the chat today, all the super chats, man, what a blessing y'all been today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be on later with my man Jay Ellis and Ryan G in the building. Sir G is chilling. We're going to be on there with them after the game today. Hopefully a nice Knicks win today. We're looking for that. So look, fam, please be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy whatever you ordering out. Enjoy it today. Be nice with your fam. Shalom.